Okay, here we go. This is my day 17 on the Camino. And I'm following BK Lee, who's on his day 4. You get all his videos on YouTube, BK Lee Camino de Santiago playlist. He's from Korea. He did Camino in 2019 and I did it 2018, something like that. Let's not get hung up on details. So I'm redoing it 2021 on my treadmill in my house in Galway. Just to recap there for anyone who's just joining. I realise I really have to do this every day or it will drag on too long. It's only an hour a day compared to, 6 hours or 8 hours on the actual Camino. So it's not too hard. Not sure what to talk about today. I have a list of things. I usually go off on tangents. Just moving the mic a bit. I usually just talk about things that I think are funny. Don't know if anyone else does. Yesterday evening I got a text from a colleague to let me know that 2 colleagues of mine, 2 sisters who work together, who would be extremely popular in the company, their father passed away suddenly yesterday on his birthday. So I just hope they're doing well. Of course they're not doing well. I just send out some thoughts and prayers to them. And as we know, death is an everyday occurrence, but when it happens to close to home or to friends of yours, I didn't know their father, but of course I like these 2 women, as do a lot of my colleagues, and it's I think during COVID, when someone dies from something else, apparently it was sudden, not related to COVID, it's like when your parents are getting to a certain age, most of us, that's what we were worried about, getting through COVID. Vaccines are on the way, or my parents have already got the first vaccination, so you're almost totally focused on that. And of course, all sorts of other things happen too. I've no time for the vaccine hoaxer, the anti-vaxxers. The COVID is a hoax thing. I mean, they're getting all their information from very specific sources. The way you know if you're reading propaganda is if everything you're reading agrees with your worldview. And despite what people say, a lot of the mainstream media has contradictory points of views. And but anyway, let's not get into that. If people feel powerful by being in on the whole anti-vaxxer thing, then good luck to them. I guess we all struggle to feel worthy or whatever in life. If that's what does it for you, you'll alienate a lot of people, but you'll also become part of a little niche club. You probably wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for vaccines. And also, you might think you're unique, but these little clubs of conspiracy theorists have been around for a long time. They come and go, and with the times. And probably more of them now due to social media, and also partly due to the extra strong weed that I hear is in circulation these days. The fatal combination. Anyway, I'm starting off on a bit of a moan, and I really don't want to get into politics. I don't even know why I'm talking about anti-vaxxers, because my friends whose father died has nothing to do with that. I think it's like when my friend died, who did die from COVID, though it just made me... Buen Camino. They're Americans, I think. Made me a bit more impatient, though, with these conspiracy theorists. One of whom was telling me, who I met on Tinder, was saying she said, I don't want to put my life on hold. Well, lots of people's lives are permanently on hold from dying from this so-called made-up illness. And people who quote all this nonsense to you, they're not well read. They don't quote it within and give you context. They just say, no, this is the way it is, and everything in mainstream media is lies. And that's what they want to believe. So they feel powerful. Okay, James, enough. God bless to everyone who's lost anyone in recent times. And it also made me focus, though, last night. Here's the thing. When I hear somebody died, not someone I knew, but I know, their daughters, his daughters, it makes me sad on their behalf for his family. And it also makes me realize life is short. He was only 21 years older than me. And it was his birthday, which was sad too. I don't want to say more, actually. I certainly don't want to identify people. That's not what I'm here for. But it did make me think, as well as being sad, life is short. I wrote 300 words or so for my book, which probably weren't great, but I just realized at the start of COVID lockdown, I realized if I were to, die shortly, what would my regret be? My regret would be not finishing, at least one draft, no more, of doing a proper first draft and a few more drafts, making a proper go of writing a book and hopefully getting it published. And I'm doing that. I get in my own way. I get tired. Sometimes, when I've got the day job, plus now I've added the Camino to it, plus insomnia, which is caused partly by medication I'm on, not helped by coffee, which I try to keep to a minimum. What am I saying? I can get in my own way. And then I realized, like just last night, it's what most people say, just chip away at it, just get the words down. You can make it better next time. But I'm at a point where I normally get stuck. But I have a deadline now that I extended for a week. So this Sunday I have to have something in. I'll probably get close to 5,000 words in, but they won't be 5,000 edited words. My ideal is write 7, edit down to 5, but it's fine. Let's face it, it's a pretty small problem in the bigger scheme of things. But it's good when you're alive to do what you want to do. I am enjoying doing this Camino and sharing my thoughts, sort of speaking them into the ether. Really not getting much traction at all. Not that surprising. Who knows, over time it might reach some people who like it. And it feels good for me. I think it's just getting my thoughts and ideas and my silly jokes out there. My thoughts about, what was I on about the other day? Elvis Presley suing me for slander because I was slandering his name all over the place. Yeah, I'm really going to get the young folk with my Elvis references, right? I don't care what kind of folk I get. BK's walking away there. You can hear the sticks clicking away on the road. I love that sound. We're in a kind of flat area with a sort of, would you call it a meadow? I don't know, on the right, a field, and some trees to the left. People in front of him, people behind him. Voices creeping through to me. I'm pretty sure there's some American voices in there. Most of the Americans I met, just going to move this mic again. That's better now. Most of the Americans I met on the Camino were from the Pacific Northwest. I said that before. And I think maybe some Canadians from British Columbia. Yes, one or two, including Rita from, what's that place in British Columbia? I used to live in Vancouver, Kamloops or something, who was originally from the prairies, which I kind of guessed because she had that friendly prairie vibe about her, which is definitely different to a BC vibe. Not being mean, that's culturally, that's a thing. BC, British Columbians, more reserved than people from the prairies. And that's a fact that I seem to observe. And she concurred. But we're not here to call people names. It's not like I'm Mr. Happy, friendly, nice guy all the time. Nah, sometimes I appear to be, but then, who knows? You don't know what goes on in my head. I have lots of petty, mean thoughts, but not all the time. Okay, what are these guys talking about? Buen Camino? Talking about Germany. But some guy from Germany. But BK ain't hanging around, he's moving on. I like your style, BK. In fact, I'll up my pace. Oh, and yet again, I'm not carrying my phone. This is the daily drama where I'm not carrying my phone, which counts my steps. I do have a smartwatch that I'm not wearing. It doesn't count well anyway. And I don't know, it thinks I'm cycling when I'm walking. Actually, no, it works on the treadmill, but it undercounts. As I say, the treadmill counts for me anyway. You know, I've given up. No, I'm just trying to get the heart points for Google Fit so they think I'm healthy. So that when the health insurers get my info, they'll go, hey, look at this guy. He doesn't hang about. He doesn't hang about. The Canadian health insurers. Yeah, enough about the Pacific Northwest. Back to the west of Ireland. That's where I am right now. Got my sad lamp on. You can see out the back the evening is creeping in. It wasn't out today, but I think it was kind of cold today and yesterday. Yeah, I think I'm going to be a little flat today. Quelle surprise, flatter than usual. I used up all my hilarity in the last few days. Going to have to refill. I could look at my notes. I'll hold off on that for the moment. Let's see what comes. I mean, I know that at the top of my notes, Happy Clappy Atheist is still there. Haven't done any research on it since, but it's just, every time I see that, it amuses me, the idea. I'm not saying, given the preponderance of atheists these days, I mean, if they were all happy clappy, that would be a bit much. A bit hard to handle. I don't know why it's top of my list. I've nothing to say about it, other than, yeah, if I found a group of happy clappy atheists, I would definitely record the sound of them and play it back to you. Say, no, I found them. I'm not so happy clappy myself. I'm a lot happier than I used to be, though. Partly due to medication, partly due to just chilling out a bit. Not as driven as I was, still a little bit driven. I mean, if I didn't want to do this Camino on a treadmill, if I didn't want to write my book, then I could be just, I could just work, watch TV, read books, enjoy life, participate in life without trying to contribute something epic, which I think that's at the core of my drive, just need to prove myself. You could analyze why that is. it's not as overriding a feeling as it used to be, but it's still there. I think it's okay. It's a bit of ambition, but I think through the writing, or through even this, I'm trying to connect, make some sense out of life, and maybe communicate in some way with anyone who's willing to listen. So I could have done this for charity, and I'm not into asking people for money really, though, for charity, and I could have put a deadline on it. The only deadline I have, though, I realise, is to really try and do it every day. Don't drag it out, for my sake, as much as anything else. I'm getting automated transcripts made up of this. I could see it as something I look back on and make a little book out of. A fun book, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I will write more of my novel tonight. I'm just going to stop being so precious. And I'm kind of stuck in this bit in Galway involving drink and drugs. And a bit that I thought would be hilarious, and now I'm struggling to get through it. But it's really because the character has lost impetus, and I'm just not quite sure what it's all about. The book and life. But that's okay. I won't bore you talking any more about that. Okay, I better look at my notes. Just get some water first. I'm about 17 minutes in. It's not bad. Got a big shed on the right. It looks like a sort of agricultural shed, maybe a cattle shed or something. Not sure. Got an email to say my phone bill is in. It's cheap because I switched. Got this cheap plan. That's all I'll say about that. Other plans are available. Let's have a look here at my notes. Camino topics. Happy clappy atheists. Noom. Oh yeah. Aliens listening to my podcast. Okay. Crosswords versus heroin. / drugstore cowboy / the art of loving / man's search for meaning. Wow, I crammed a lot into that bullet point. Z versus Z. Yes. Noom. So I've been watching a lot of CNN lately, or more accurately, listening to a lot. I stream it on my phone at nights and hear all these ads. Aside from all the ads for medications with about 1 million side effects, including fatal side effects, there is quite a few ads for getting meals delivered to you. We have a bit of that in Ireland now. I did it for a short while. I got the one where you get the ingredients and recipes. Yeah, it was good. Got me cooking nice things for a while. Might do it again, but it's a little pricey, and I guess wasteful, really. Wasteful in terms of transport, but not in terms of ingredients, because you get exactly what you need. But the other thing I hear on CNN is ads for diet plans. Let's see, I'll put my speed up. Where is it? I'll go to 4.6. That should get the hard points going on my phone. Going through a small town here. A lot of sleepy towns on the route. Well, I say sleepy, it's probably early. I'm trying to get my bearings. He's going between Alto del Perdón and Uterga. And there's a green on the right and houses on each side. And not much trees and things. Not much else to say about that. just wondering where we are in relation to Los Arcos, I think it's called. From Los Arcos to Logroño, that's where I met the famous Julia. Then I walked 45 kilometers trying to catch up with her again. I can't think of anything else too exciting between now and then. I don't recognize this place at all. Or do I? Something will come up. He's stopping at a vending machine. Don't blame him. Might have a drink of water myself. I think he's counting his coins. That's the dramatic moment of the day. Does he have enough coins to get himself a soft drink? Oh, he's gone to another machine. There's two machines. One is Coca-Cola and whatever related brands. The other is, what is it? I can't read it. He's walking away. He's walking away. Repeat, he's walking away. He didn't purchase anything. I think he must have just stopped to get his bearings. Okay. So yeah, the diet ads, the ones I hear are for Noom, Jenny, Claire, and some other one. There's ones where they send you meals. But the diet ads nowadays, they just seem to be focused on, hey, you can eat a load of stuff. And like the Noom ad, they've got a guy in the Noom commercial saying, hey, hold on a sec, I do recognize this town, do I? Is this the town where I met a guy called Andrew, English guy who lives in Helsinki? No, maybe not. This is a kind of agricultural looking area, but a lot of, terraced houses on the left, and then on the right some agricultural sheds and things. It kind of reminds me of some of those towns in Ireland that you would have passed. Oh, here's some water. Oh, yes, a well with water. Okay. There was a dissolve there, and we're still in, I think. It's that town, though. There was an edit. It says, Uterga to Prenta la Reina. I was saying it reminds me when I used to drive from Dublin to Galway or get the bus before the motorway, and you go through all these towns. And there were towns like Horseleap, Rochford Bridge, various towns. It reminds me of one of those kind of rural, mainly rural, but with a few shops. A mechanic. There was a mechanic in one of those towns who helped me out. There was one in every one of them. I don't know if there still is. And now it's just motorways and numbers and exits and junctions. There's a part of me that likes that for some reason. The part of me that imagines my life as a science fiction movie. Yeah, that part of me. I think I talked before about staying in one of those small Japanese-style hotels in Gatwick Airport and buying food from. Everything was within the terminal, the airport, the hotel, and the Marks and Spencer's. Buying food from an automated thing where you don't have to talk to anyone. And I don't think I had to talk to anyone to check into the hotel either. So it felt like in my head I was like in Blade Runner or something. My imagination takes flight pretty easily. Doesn't take much. I've got an aerodynamic imagination, you might say. I just did say. So, yeah, I'm getting a vague feeling of this place, but it feels like further on than I should be. as I said, I could do my research in between walks, but that'd be too sensible. Anyway, there's walkers ahead, so he's going the right way. Also, the sun is in front of him. So, yeah, he's... I'm not good at judging the sun, but I know it starts behind you, comes around to the left. By the afternoon, it's on the Camino, like it's in front of you. Never really to your right. I guess if you walked a long day, like today I walked 45 kilometers, it must have been getting around to my right by the end. Although if you're walking west, you see, I don't get that. You're walking west, and the sun sets in the west. And it rises in the east, and it comes around, you know, if you're walking west, it starts behind you, comes to your left, which is, oh God, south. It comes around by the south, isn't it? Yeah. And then sets in the east. So, does that mean it's never in the north? At least in the northern hemisphere. I know I used to live, when I lived in Vancouver, I had a north-facing apartment facing out to North Vancouver. And I was in the Robson Denman, that kind of area, near the West End. Nice part of Vancouver. Looking over, I could see seaplanes landing, and then behind that I could see North Vancouver. So, yeah, in the summer, north-facing was good. I didn't get lots of sun. The people in the south-facing apartments always looked a bit more jaded in the summer. There was a couple in the south-facing apartment on my floor who were always shouting, arguing. They got kicked out in the end. Well, he was doing all the shouting. Well, maybe they both were. It wasn't in English, and I don't know what they were shouting about. In fairness, I don't think it was like a domestic violence incident, you know. But mind you, shouting is aggressive. You might say it's not as bad as hitting, but no, it seemed like just arguments that flared up between both of them. That's my memory of it. If I thought it was more than that, I would have reported it. But I mean, someone did. They got the boot in the end. So how come the sun? I've thought about this before. You see, I'm showing up my lack of intelligence here. And I'm too tired now to picture it, like the Earth rotating. Why is it never in the north, the sun? I know this. Thousands of my listeners are thinking, God, that's so easy. Anyway, onwards, we're outside the town. And we are the agricultural kind of town, and we're back just the countryside. Gravel road. The sun high in front of him. Yeah, that's when you need your sunglasses. A little bit of cloud, a nice bit of, not too much, but a little bit. So, let's get the fan going here. And I think I'm going to have to strip down. Steady now. Steady now, ladies. That reminds me of a comic routine by Dimitri Martin. I love that comedian. But he said, you know, if you end a sentence with the word ladies, you automatically sound sleazy, no matter what the sentence. It's like, help, I'm trapped in a well, ladies. Or, I've just been nominated for a Nobel Prize, ladies. He does it better than me. Yeah, he's great. I love his routine. Also, he learned a few things from him. Learned to stop ending my sentences with ladies. So that was good. The road is getting narrow now. Narrow little laneway, country lane. In Ireland, we would call this a bohereen, which comes from boher is road, bohereen as we say it, so the English version of it is small road, bohereen we say. I guess in Irish it's literally bohereen. If you add in, I follow N to the end of a word, it's in small. Like in, somehow I know that in Serbo-Croat, tse makes it small, and slon is elephant. Slontia is small elephant, slontia. So when I lived in Russia, my Serbo-Croat friends were amused to hear that slontia is the Irish for cheers or to your health, which is, to them sounds like small elephant. And in Serbo-Croat it's zhiguli, isn't it? Which I think there's a Russian car called Zhiguli, but probably not. There's a Lada, there's Moskvich. I don't know. There might be a Zhiguli. Doesn't sound like small elephant. Sounds kind of funny though. And in Russian it's Nazdrovia, which a lot of people know. To your health. So just to recap. In English, we say cheers or to your health. In Irish, sloncha, which translates as to your health. In Russian, nazdarovia, to your health. In Serbo-Croat, zhiguli. I don't know if that means to your health. I know a few other words in Serbo-Croat, but I'm pretty sure they're all profane. Well, I know volinte is I love you, I think. And molinte is please. I hope I'm not mixing them up. Volinte, molinte. Anything else I know is profane, is rude, vulgar. When I was in my 20s, I thought there was nothing more important than learning vulgar expressions in other languages or dialects. Nowadays, my late 40s, I think it's less important, but I wouldn't say it's unimportant, completely unimportant. It's just not, it's not up there on my hierarchy of needs. Laszlo's hierarchy of needs. Or is it Laszlo? Sounds like Sean Connery. We say Laszlo anyway. Hierarchy of needs. This is turning into a nice little lesson today. Starts with what's the top of the ladder you need? Food and water. After that, shelter. I can't remember. Then after, once you meet certain needs, you get love and tenderness, and kids or whatever. But I'm just wondering where learning vulgar expressions in other languages fits in. I mean, in my ladder, it's shockingly high up, I think. As I said, it's moved down a bit, but it's still, it's not even on most people's ladder hierarchy of needs. But it's on mine. When I made a film years ago called Ereville, which was in Irish, my friend Anthony, here we go, needy Anthony gets a mention again. My friend who was disturbed not to be mentioned in my podcast, so I attempted to do a whole podcast about him. Ended up talking more about Serena Williams, but still mentioned his name a few times. So Anthony was sound editor on my film Ereville. He did a great job. We used to put in Morse code sounds, and for any time we saw exterior buildings, we put in some Morse code, which he used. I believe he used a what's that instrument? The Doctor Who instrument. You know the one. I'm gonna take take off my t-shirt. Steady on, ladies. I've got to take off my headphones to do that. Okay. Oh my God, I've just changed the video. Oh, I hit a button on the bloody headphones. I'm gonna have fun syncing this up, that's for sure. So anyway. What was I talking about? I was trying to take my t-shirt off. Yeah, let's not try that again. Ladies. So anyway, I hear somebody talking or singing, and let's check my Google Fit heart points. I don't feel like going faster than 4K now. 20, okay. I only need 40 more heart points this week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Totally doable. Okay. I'm hearing some wind here in my ears. I ain't touching my headphones again, that's for sure. So I totally lost my train of thought when I reset the video. And I think I'm okay now. I think I'm back up to speed. I was talking about something. Those diet ads on TV was one thing I was trying to talk about. And I don't know, nowadays they make it sound easy. Hey, we just send you this stuff, cram this stuff down your gob, and next thing you know, you lose weight. On the new Mad, this guy is saying, I eat candy for a living and I lost weight. They're just making it sound so easy, you know? Just pay a fortune to Noom or whoever and eat all the crap they send you or whatever. Then I heard something on the radio the other day. Some guy did some study to say the more you exercise, you don't lose weight. Great. I mean, the general consensus is eat less, move more. I'm beginning to think the eat less thing is the bigger one. And my phone just fell down the leg of my skinny sweatpants. Skinny, shiny sweatpants is probably a name for that. And it's stuck at the bottom, it's bouncing around my ankle. And I could not be bothered taking it out. I don't know how it's going to affect my heart count, step count, whatever. And not only that, I don't care. Wow, I'm such a rebel. So, let's see, 20 minutes to go on the treadmill, and on the walk, yeah, about 22. So I probably am covering a couple of minutes extra. That's okay. So, wow, I've really lost my, not just my train of thought, but my mojo. Let me sort out this phone situation. Actually, I'll just stop the treadmill for a second. Okay. And get the phone out. Don't go anywhere. Great. Yeah. Okay, let me start again. Oops. So, Noom and diet ads. I have nothing to say about them. Okay, let's get back up to 4 kilometers an hour. I'll look at my notes again. I'm struggling today, definitely. I had a feeling I had a couple of good days that where I was on form and maybe a bit funny, maybe a bit deep, maybe totally delusional. What else is on my list? Z versus Z. Film noir, ayahuasca, alter by anecdotes. They're all funny, by the way. surprisingly. Vision Quest. Afterlife. No, not the Ricky Gervais TV show, which passes for deep nowadays. That's how low things have gone. There's a film called Afterlife, Japanese film from, I think, the 90s. That's the one I want to talk about, but maybe I'll watch it again before talking about it. Back to the top of the list. Happy Clappy Atheist. Noom. Aliens listening to my podcast 1,000 years from now. I'll leave that for the moment. Crosswords versus heroin. Yeah. Drugstore cowboy. The art of loving man's search for meaning. Let's see what I can get out of that. How did I come up with crosswords versus heroin? Oh yeah, it was yesterday. I was talking about something and I came up with the phrase pointless yet addictive. Can't even remember what I was talking about. Then I laughed. I thought, I don't think pointless and addictive are opposite ends of the spectrum. And then if it was that easy, you could just say, to a heroin addict, I say, old chap, you do realize it's pointless exercise? And he'd go, oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought it was pointful. Is that the opposite of pointless? And you say, no, try, here, do a crossword instead. I think you'll find that pretty pointful. Then the heroin addict does a crossword and says, oh, this passes the time and it's not pointless. I don't need to do heroin anymore. It was funny in my head yesterday, okay? Everything's funny in my head. Or deep. Everything in my head is either really funny or really deep. Between my head and my mouth, which isn't a long distance, things sometimes go wrong. The translation from thought to word, somehow things fall apart. So, don't blame me. As I said, someday they'll invent quantum computers which will explain to you all exactly how intelligent and hilarious and deep I am. Until that moment, bear with me. Okay, BK catching up on a couple of people here. Looks like he'll overtake them shortly. Bit of drama, pole position. Way. So, yeah. Today, and now I'm just hanging in there after resetting my video. And also just tired and hungry. Whatever viewers or listeners I have, sorry guys, I'm the guy in the movie you say, leave me here with a canteen of water, bottle of water and a gun. Although, as I said before in the previous podcast, if I was the guy leaving him behind, I'd say, we're not giving you the last of our water because you're going to die anyway, but we'll give you a gun, all right, to shoot the bad guys. I know it seems like a nice idea, leaving him the water and the gun, but when you kind of think about it, on a practical level, that's a waste of water. If they were leaving it with me, well, actually, no, I'd take it. I'd be thinking, God, they're idiots. They're leaving me the water. Now, what a waste. But I'd probably take it. I just think, if they don't know that, it's their problem. I hear some talking here. Let's see, can I identify the language? I think it's Spanish. I'm not trying too hard. So, they're not letting him pass. They're blocking his way. Oh, they're crafty. This is Formula One Camino. They're just completely blocking his way. He's going to have to do something daring like Ayrton Senna. Now, there is a great documentary, Senna. For someone like me who is not at all interested in Formula One, mainly because it just looks really slow on TV. So I find it boring to watch. And if I was in a Formula One car, I would be scared out of my wits. So neither of those options are appealing to me. I'd either be bored to death or scared to death or crash to death. That's a great documentary though, Ayrton Senna. And actually, faith is a big thing in the documentary, both faith in himself as a driver, but also in what he would call God, in the higher power. That's the second time I saw it in the cinema and I saw it on TV maybe a year or two ago. And I realized, wow, the faith thing is really pronounced in that, right to the end, from start to end. I like those topics. They even had the last quote that he read in the Bible before going out to race that day. It was pretty kind of prophetic, I think. Don't want to lose my atheist. Hang in there, guys. I'm staying firmly on the fence here. Oh, it could all be a load of codology. A load of absolute bonkers. Not bonkers. That's not a noun. Oh, a load of nonsense. As Ricky Gervais put those words into Penelope Wilton, isn't that her name, into her mouth, in his allegedly deep afterlife, where she's telling him not to be a dick, and she's saying, oh, it's not, he said, is it God? Oh, I don't believe in that's a load of nonsense, she said. It didn't improve the story in any way, or her character, her saying that. Buen Camino. But it was important for old Ricky to crowbar his belief into it in the same way that Christians might crowbar their belief into a corny Christian movie. Anyway, people think it's deep and funny because that's the level we've sunk to nowadays. Martin Scorsese wrote a great piece recently in Harper's on just streaming and how culture has just been totally devalued. And I'm sure people care more what he thinks, but I would concur. And I would evidence Exhibit A, Afterlife, the film from the 90s, compared to Ricky Gervais' TV show Afterlife. That is the level, from the height we have come from to the depths we have sunk to. He said arrogantly, that's what I feel. Afterlife, yeah. Let's not even talk about Ricky Gervais. Well, I was with it for a while, season 1. I think I was being patient. And that Penelope Wilton line, I thought, you know what? F this. Now, where are we now? Buen Camino. He's overtaken. We're in pole position. Somewhere between Uterga and Puente la Reina. I can pronounce my R's when they're extreme. I can't do the subtle R's, but I don't go full W either. I'm somewhere in between. Self-conscious about it because I'm broadcasting my voice there to the aliens who discovered this 1,000 years from now. Maybe they struggled with their R's as well, I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I have too long to go. 12 minutes, I've probably done more. I've done a bit more than I need to. Yeah, they're speaking Spanish. It's not so much the words I understand, it's the kind of the accent and the intonation. I could be wrong, but no, it's Spanish. It's definitely not Italian. Met some guys somewhere along the Camino, some older guys in a hostel. We were all sitting around a dinner table having a lovely meal. They were singing these songs and kind of traditional Spanish songs, but the word Franco came up a few times. I can only assume it was himself, Generalissimo Franco. Is that what they called him? Generalissimo. I was kind of surprised. Semi-shocked. I mean, more surprised than shocked. Maybe they were singing them ironically. I don't know. They seemed like nice enough men. I just thought that would be something he wouldn't sing in public, but what do I know? So we're going through a suburb now. Some big looking houses here. Not really seeing many people out and about though. That's a thing I noticed in a lot of places on the Camino. I'm struggling to say anything now for the last 10 minutes. Some of you will be relieved to know I'm not trying to be funny. I've no wacky stories. I think I feel blood sugar slump. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, heroin is pointless, yet addictive. But all you need to do is replace it with a crossword, which has a point apparently, and is also addictive in a good way. That's my little lesson. I hope that helps people out there. I don't want to minimize serious addiction though. It's not a nice cross to bear. I think we all have a burden of some sort to shoulder, a cross, as they say. And lots of us are addicted to lots of things that are more acceptable than heroin or excessive alcohol intake. Actually, in Ireland, the latter is, we set the bar pretty high. In America, the bar for calling yourself an alcoholic is pretty low. In Ireland, it's really high. You really only call yourself an alcoholic if you kind of, I don't know, nearly die from drinking. I think if you have to have your liver transplant, then they're like, yeah, maybe you should cut back. I'm exaggerating, just a little. So if anyone's listening, I hope you can help me get through these next few minutes. Don't feel like joking, and I have nothing deep to say. But that's part of the Camino. It's part of life. Ooh, was that deep? Who knows? Who cares? Deep is overrated. Shallow is where it's at. Shallow or just, up to your neck in water. That's somewhere between shallow and neck high. I think that's where it's at. Yeah. You can quote me on that. It's official. Deep is so 2018. Take some more water. As you can see, large chunks of the Camino, like here when you're on a slightly bigger road, there's not a whole lot of interest to see, not many people around. The drudgery is the one thing you can't train for, but then 1 minute it can feel like drudgery, another minute something clicks in your head and you're like, it's like meditation or something, you're just in the zone and at peace. I'm not feeling that now here on my treadmill, but I think I'm just feeling a little weak, like I need food, and a little down. Not majorly, just every day down, which could be just the blood sugar thing, and could be just, I suppose, my colleague's father dying, who I didn't know him or anything, but just things that remind you about death. Also bring your focus back to life and the need to do what we can with each day without making that another burden either. The burden of achievement. So much emphasis nowadays on overachievement. It's exhausting. Even just listening to it, I find exhausting. It's like, do your best and try and be loving and compassionate. And you won't always succeed at that either. Don't make that another burden. we all end up being assholes every so often. And if you think that's not you, okay. I either say well done or you're in denial. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that or anything. What am I an expert on? I'm an expert, by the end of this, I'll be an expert on doing a Camino on a treadmill. I'll be the go-to guy for that. They say, oh yeah, you want to do a Camino on a treadmill? I know just the guy for you. Yeah, James Finlan. You want to do a podcast about it? Oh yeah, he's the guy. He'll tell you everything you need to know. Form a line though, he's kind of busy. Form an orderly queue. How are we doing here time-wise? About 5 minutes. And I'm not going to look at my notes. I'm just going to walk. And you can walk along with me if you're listening to this. I'm walking. I think people could watch this on YouTube. I feel you'd have to be on a treadmill yourself or an exercise bike or something. You could have it on, I suppose, on a computer off while you're working and you're listening to it and just glancing. Possibly, though, the best way is to listen to the podcast of this while you're walking. I don't know. Maybe there's no good way. It's not for me to say. But if you were walking along, if you are walking along to it right now when you're listening, then I've said before there is a theory that all time exists at once. It means we're walking together. So like the length of our lives, say if you live 80 years, the length of your life from start to finish in this thing we call linear time is less than the time it takes for the light for distant stars to reach our eyes, assuming it's more than 80 light years away. I get all mixed up in those times. I think, yeah, maybe it's the nearest galaxy is 45 light years away. Is that it? I don't know. Either way, the past, we're looking out into the past when we look at those stars, and some of them the light is reaching us that set out from before we were born. Or I'm trying to make a sentence out of this thought, and I'm just going to leave it hanging there. I'm just waiting to get to the end. Tempted to order a takeout now instead of cooking a meal, but I've got to watch my diet. I got to do Noom or something. Get them to send me all this food that makes me thin. Well, I don't think Noom do that, but some of them do that. They'll send you all this. They say, shove this into your mouth. That's all you have to do. That sounds like my kind of diet. Probably tastes awful though. I got this stuff once, I won't say the brand name, some powder, you mix it up. I talked about it before here, I think you can knock it back. It tastes like sand. It's just completely constipated me, that's what happened to me. But they show in the ad, you know these slick videos that make some hipster guy. It's like, yeah, you work hard, you play hard, you don't have time to eat. Knock this crap back and you got all the nutrients you want. Oh man. It really, I think I was a bit depressed at the time, so I thought, okay, I don't have to cook, that's handy. But it just made me more depressed and constipated. So that particular product, I don't think they'll be sponsoring me. Maybe it works for some people. I don't know. How are we doing? It's getting dark. Well, of course, I've got my sad lamp in front of me, but it's getting darker for in Spain here for BK. Okay, I got 30 seconds to go here, and my treadmill says that was 60 minutes. Oh. Maybe instead of walking too much, I've walked too little with that bit where my video stopped. I don't care. It just means maybe I should walk another 2 minutes. I might wait till my treadmill gets to 4.4 kilometers. No, I won't. Will I? I will, I won't. Who knows? She loves me not. Yeah. I'll walk not. Okay. Let's see. 3 hours. We've hit 3 hours on the video. Maybe I'll just walk a little more now. Yeah. Why not? I'll walk to 4.4 kilometers on my treadmill. I've hit 62 minutes. Good. So. Nearly there. These people are happy. It's good. It's nice to hear happy voices. Sometimes it can cheer one up. Other times, not. I like it. Kids playing in the playground. Normally, I don't know if it always cheers me up. It's just something so, like as I said, when you're on the Camino and you hear it, it's like an international sound of life. Not even happiness, because some of them are crying probably, but it's just pure life, isn't it? So, okay, I'm coming up to 4.4 kilometers on a treadmill, so I'm about to wrap it up. So, see you tomorrow. Hopefully no technical glitches tomorrow. Buen Camino, God bless, and send out love and prayers to those who have lost someone recently.